let's talk about our defence. We've had some issues of late. We've seen Wesley Fofana out. We're not sure how long it's going to be. Maresca has come out and said it's going to be for the rest of the season. Fofana himself then contradicted that with saying it'd be 4 to 6 weeks. What do you make of that contradiction? Firstly, Fofana being out, what do you make of that? What do you make of a potential contradiction? Is it miscommunication?
It's difficult to know, isn't it? Because, Fofana puts it out one thing, and this is what we can sometimes get in social media. The manager says one thing, he's had the advice from the medical team, and then all of a sudden something comes out that's conflicting with that. I don't know is a straight answer to that. I don't have inside knowledge of Fofana's injury. The good news is it's not his knee, which I think everyone feared when we heard out potential rest of the season. Everyone's thinking, is it his knee? It's not. It's a soft tissue injury. In terms of us as a defensive unit, well, it is a unit. I know the back four get all the praise of the keeper, but the reality is Pedro Neto's got to do his job. Whether it be Felix on that other side, Sancho on that side, whether it be who's ever playing on that right-hand side, it may well be Neto. It could be anyone there. But as a unit, then you've got to think about Casado in the middle of the park, Lavia. There have been moments this season where we've looked good, but in a 90-minute game, we always give up a chance. Yeah. And whether that be a pass from Sanchez into Palmer's feet, he gets robbed, 2 passes later, all of a sudden we conceded. So as a unit, there's work to be done. Acheampong, I'm really pleased to see that he got his chance, by the way. I thought he was excellent against Crystal Palace. But as far as Wesley Fofana's concerned, I was just fingers crossed for the boy that he's out, not weeks as opposed to months.
Do you think we need to sign under the centre-back now? Well,
it's interesting, isn't it, the fact that, we're looking at Crystal Palace, with them re-signing players or we're bringing players back on loan. It feels as though that something will be done in that area this window, whether it's going to be bringing back Chalobah or whether it's going to be Mark Guehi. That remains to be seen right now. But it does feel as though the hierarchy feel we are a little bit skinny in there. I'm worried just on that. I'm a little bit worried about Acheampong's development then. Yeah.
Oh,
I think he showed what I've seen in conference, and
I
think the boy has shown that there's developing in there for him.
I think if you were to give him 20 games, the narrative of him would be significantly changed. It doesn't take long for a young academy product. We've seen it with Lewis Hall at Newcastle. He's been given regular game time. He's now probably a shoo-in to start for England at the next World Cup with Thomas Tuchel. Considering all the injury issues they've had in that position with Shaw and Chilwell. I think with Acheampong, unless Chelsea, for me, are going to sign a complete centre-back that's going to add every single facet that we're missing, which is leadership, which is pace, which is aerial dominance, which is positioning. Unless you're getting a complete centre-back that ticks every single box, numerically, you have enough centre-backs. And the Crystal Palace manager came out and said that. He said, why do they need another centre-back when they have Tostin, when they have Disasi, when they have Acheampong that's just been... we've just brought back someone from Boca Juniors on a loan as well. Yeah. We have so many players in this position. We've spent decent money in this position as well. We shouldn't be in a situation where someone that was banished from the squad in the summer in Chalobah is now being recalled 6 months later, potentially, to come and fill the void. Mark Guehi, for me, as much as I like the player, I think he's very good. I think he had a really good tournament with England. I don't think aerially he's dominant enough to come into this team and make a massive shift for 50, 60 million. I think financially, obviously, Chelsea will look at it because of the sell-on clause. They'll probably get him at a discount because he's got a year left on his contract in the summer. But that should not be the reason why you're signing him. You should be signing him for the footballing reasons only, which is that you think he's the solution and then this box is completely ticked. You don't need to sign any more centre-backs. Too many times Chelsea do deals where it's because of there's an advantage financially, which could, no, we need to do the deal because on the football pitch, this is a player that's going to take us to a Premier League title.
And off the back of that, I think we all love Levi Colwill, right? I think he's great. I think he's got so much potential. But there's a misconception about Levi Colwill that he is that A-side centre-back. Russell talks about his leadership qualities and he has potential to be a future captain. But is he that A-side centre-back that is the leader at the back line, not only concentrates on his job defensively, but also leads that back line? To win a Premier League, you need that. I talked about needing a striker. You also need a dominant centre-back who's that leader. We were blessed with JT for years and years.
But the problem we've got there is JT learned alongside some of the best in the world. Desailly, Leboeuf, right? Colwill, our two centre-back partnership was 18 and 21. Yeah. And that's another reason why I think we are naive at times as a unit, why we concede so many goals second half, is that we are such a young side developing. He hasn't got the benefit of that. I mean, imagine putting like a 27, 28-year-old John Terry alongside Levi Colwill. Imagine So they're learning on the job,
Yeah.
some of these boys.
Even a 38-year-old Thiago
I was going to
Silva.
say
You know,
Thiago Silva.
there's that
And
as well.
it is about combinations because I've seen average centre-backs be paired with world-class ones and the
Exactly.
defence looks fantastic.
Exactly.
And Levi Colwill, you see in that Palace game, the way he steps out and tries to engage with the ball and he leaves that gap behind him for Achimpong to then be in a 2v1 situation with Eze and Mateta. He can't do anything about it. He's obviously failed to do the offside trap a few times, but he's 21. So there's a lot of kind of conclusions being made on him when there shouldn't be, because you look at Christensen when he was here, he was young, he was developing as well. The issue is the experienced defenders that Chelsea have brought in, like Tosin and Disasi, were both on the bench because they're not of the quality potentially to lead this back line, and that's the problem.
And you made such a good point in terms of an incredible centre-back can make average centre-backs look really, really good. And this is a Chelsea show, but let's bring in Liverpool, for an example. We're not going to get a Virgil van Dijk. He's a once-in-a-lifetime centre-back. But I've seen him make Matip look really, really good. I've seen him make Joe Gomez look really good. Right now, I think Konate's a good defender, but not a great defender. But right now, he's making him look amazing. You even look at Arsenal. I think there was a perception of Gabriel before Saliba came in of he's rash. He makes decisions that aren't necessarily beneficial to the team. He's got the bozo gene. As soon as Saliba comes in, he looks like a top centre-back. And that's what the best centre-backs in the world do. I feel like if we get that guy...
Are we going to get that in January, though, Craig?
No, it's ironic that Liverpool signed Virgil van Dijk in January, but and we actually signed Gary Cahill in January, and he went on to become one of our best ever
So this
defenders.
season, are we going to sign a
I don't think
centre-back?
that centre back is available right now. I think that takes extensive scouting. I don't think we just necessarily go for the biggest name.
And Mark Gay's not on your radar.
Mark Gay, he's a good defender, but for me, he's a B-side defender. He's a player that next to a great defender looks really, really good. But he's not somebody who's going to elevate our back line to a point where we don't concede stupid goals. Yeah. I think he's a front-footed defender, which is not necessarily what we need. We need somebody who's a bit more cerebral, can watch the game, and then decide to make the decisions and help everybody else make the right decisions. I don't think Mark Gay brings that to the back line in terms of what we need. And so I get why Chelsea want to make the move. It makes sense financially. But for me, I feel like we should bide our time and wait till the right defender becomes available to really enhance and improve that.
Can we just talk about Nottingham Forest recruitment at centre-half?
Unbelievable.
So you think about those, I think they're probably the best two alongside Gabriel and Saliba. Recruitment. So, you know, you haven't always got to go out and spend 70, 80, 90, 100 million pounds. There are players out there, that's where these little gems, I mean, they played £13 million for Milinkovic.
Yeah.
13. Yeah. Now look at him. Morello, I don't know what they got him, but it wasn't, we're not talking tens and tens and tens of millions. So recruitment is absolutely key as well.
I think the only thing you could do is bring Chalobah back and move on to Disasi purely because stylistically Chalobah's a better fit to play as a wide centre-back. He's quicker across the ground. Yeah, but I think if I'm looking out for Chalobah, I wouldn't come back to Chelsea because we saw what happened in the summer. We know what's going to happen next summer. You're having a great stint at Crystal Palace. You're getting great game time with another former Cobham defender in Gurhey. And you could be playing your way into a move, a permanent move to Palace or maybe even better. So it's a real head-scratcher for Chelsea. They put themselves in an awkward position.